You're listening to the Morning After podcast.
Kyle, you once told me that you wish you knew how to sing. And in some ways, you're glad you're not a singer, because if you knew how to sing, you would use that power for evil. What did you mean by that?
I just meant that I would be a horrible person. I might try to take singing lessons. I don't know. Because you said you feel like everyone can sing. You just got to unlock it.
Well, a lot of people understand tone more than they think they do. Especially people who mimic other people, like in the shower, when you're singing in the car, things like that. And if you can like hear a tone and then play it back and sing it, you might sound bad. You might not have the soul and the confidence. But if you understand tone, I feel like you need to get a coach and take some lessons for a little bit. And then that'll give you the confidence to because even there are people, Alicia Keys went on stage at the Super Bowl and was like, no, yeah, but the rest of that song was beautiful. And she could have cracked her whole way through that song, but I'm still going to be like, oh, that's Alicia Keys, because she's confident.
Fergie crushed that national anthem that one time.
All right, that's enough, Kyle. We had enough of you, Kyle.
She crushed it. No, I'm gonna hire Terrence Howard, I think, to teach me how to sing.
Because when you sing, it's in color.
Yeah.
And the sound and the waves. You see, the hydrogen is over here to the left. Now, the hydrogen, it's like a T-shirt. You understand? A wet T-shirt. When you can see through the hydrogen, then the nipples are the lithium. You understand?
What do you mean by that? Jamie, pull that up. What do you mean by that, Terrence?
Okay. Now, there's a doctor, Dr. Winesmith. Dr. Winesmith was from the 1800s. I saw Dr. Winesmith in a dream as a baby. Even before I was a baby, I remember the time when I was inside of my father's testicles and I was there swimming. And I remember the time of eruption, what you would call ejaculate. I remember the time it was a wave. There were friends. I had lots of friends around, all the same color, because before we were born, we were all white. We were all Caucasian before, because we were inside of our father's sacks just swimming around. I remember.
That's interesting that's one of your first memories, because I had Bob Lazar on here on the podcast, and he was talking about Area 51.
Yes, I'm very familiar with Area 51, because you see, when I was a fetus, I was in Area 51. They were doing experiments on me. Lab testing. Wow. I remember this very vividly, and that's when I understood the genome sequence, the double helix.
Jamie, can we pull up the double helix, Jamie?
Yeah, the double helix, the triple sow cow.
I'm done. If you guys haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's 3 hours, but it goes by quick. Okay.
Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan. Terrence Howard recently, even more than I've always loved Terrence Howard. Performance-wise, I think he's one of the greats. But since he's kind of stopped acting and went more into his mathematical, philosophical, groundbreaking theories and things like that, I love him even more now, because I don't understand it.
Dude, I don't know. I don't think Joe even knew what was going on.
No, Joe Rogan usually has more to say.
He didn't talk for 30 minutes.
He was speechless.
That was like a prime example of just let him cook.
100%.
Like, he just cooked.
I mean, Terrence.
And then he checked me. What really got me, when he's like, and that's what Einstein left out of his thing. I'm like, is Terrence Howard checking right now Albert Einstein?
Yeah. Because here's why, you understand. If you take a series of 6 bubbles and you put them together, there's that space.
A negative space.
That's in between.
And you have a patent for that, 97 patents.
I have 97 patents for that. Because my first patent when I was a fetus. See, I remember I was in this space and I held the hand of an older man. I knew his voice, but I didn't know who he was. Cut to 53 years later, I realized that I was talking to myself from the future. Wow. Everything's a circle. Everything is right here, right now.
It's like that Will Smith movie.
Funny thing about Will Smith. I remember Will Smith when I was inside of my father's dick hole.
Oh, Terrence. Oh, man. Anyways.
Did Alesha just walk in?
Yeah, what up?
Shout out to Alesha Renee, our most esteemed guest.
You went back to Chicago, right, Larry?
Yeah, I went back
for the
to
week. How was it? How is it when you go home? What's it like when you go back to Chicago?
I mean, there's usually a parade.
Yeah.
The city welcomes me.
But you did get inducted into your high school Hall of Fame? Second ballot, right?
Second ballot, which is crazy. So check this out.
Who's a first ballot Hall of Famer at your high school?
I don't know, but so I went to Glenbard South High School, in a town called Glen Ellen, Illinois, western suburb, DuPage County. Shout out to Glenbard South High School. But last year, the old dean hit me up and said, "Hey, you know, would you be interested in accepting this honor? We are nominating you to be part of our esteemed alumni." And I was like, "Oh, great, thank you. Yeah, that's great. All right, send us this, send us that. You know, fill this form out, do this, do that." And I was like, "Oh, it's a lot of work, but okay, I'll do it." So I'm doing it. And then I get a month later, 2 months later, an email saying, "We regret to inform you that your..."
You got denied?
I got denied. I didn't even apply, but they set me up to break me down. And I was like, part of me was like, "Fuck y'all," but the other part was like, I mean, we got some hitters coming out of this school. You know what I'm saying? That to me, that was kind of like, oh well, they don't just value fame or act, which is great. So then the next year, I got in, which was interesting because these people that I was nominated with were straight up G's. There was one lady who's a brain doctor who has her own practice and does all this. I'll put their names in the description so people can go check them out. We have one lady who helped like 200 and something Afghan women escape persecution. She rescued child brides and like put them in college. We had one guy he's the dude who helped build the missile defense for nations all over, including Israel.
Jeez.
It went to Glenbard South High School. And I was like, damn. And then
they got the guy from Bloodshot in there?
They got the guy from Bloodshot in there. And then they had one woman who was at once Forbes listed her as the most powerful woman in the world.
What?
Graduated in 1975 from our high school. She created all this technology for IBM and all these world leaders and all this stuff like that. I was like, damn, they all went to Glenbard South. I was like, I ain't shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get invited to my high school. Who knows? Well, they don't let me into the high school.
Not now, obviously, because you got that case.
0 cases.
I'm kidding. You ain't Drake.
Drake. So we did some polling.
Yes.
Because as you guys know, we poll the fans here. Sometimes together, sometimes individually.
Yeah. But polling nonetheless.
Yeah.
And they asked us some questions. You all know the drill. And we shall dive into them. You want to go first, Kyle?
Sure, I'll get one. What's one random bar game or tailgate party game that you think you could go pro in?
I think I could go pro in beer pong.
Beer pong?
Yeah.
Are you good at beer pong?
Yeah, I'm good at beer pong. I'm just not good at drinking beer because I think beer is terrible. And I hate when they be dipping that ball in the community liquid and then making people drink the shit out of it.
Yeah, dude, and then the ball like falls on the floor and then you pick it up and there's a hair and they're like, oh, it's fine. And then they put it in the...
Yeah, I'm like, that right there. I could go pro in it, but it had to be special rules. Like, I'm really particular. Like, I'm the type of person that moves into a new home and changes all the toilets out. Because I know some old...
Even if they're new toilets?
Well, here's the thing. Somebody build a house, right?
Yeah.
Where are these workers going to go to the bathroom?
Ooh,
on your toilets. They in there,
really?
they all in the primary bathroom just shitting away. Shitting.
So they don't use the porta potty. If they see if there's one outside, that's fake?
Let me tell you what I'm not doing. If I'm building a house,
yeah,
and I got one of those Japanese Totos in there, shout out to Toto. If you got one of those Japanese toilets in there, and you've been busting your ass on this house for so long, and there's a dirty ass porta potty out there with the whole crew just out there taking turns dropping loads off.
Yeah,
I'm not going in there. I got a brand new Japanese toilet up there. I'm gonna go sit my butt on that toilet and break it in. And then because to them that's a power play.
shitting on your toilet before you.
Every time they drive past the house, they're gonna go, I own that motherfucker.
Dude, I will say the first time I used a Japanese toilet, I didn't know how to work it. So like I did my business and then I didn't know how to flush. So I got up and I'm like looking because there's buttons and then there's like remote control and I could not figure it out.
So what'd you do? You just left it floating in there? No, it's a Japanese toilet. It flushes automatically, by the way.
They flush automatically?
When you get up and you wipe, you do your business. You get up. If the pressure's when you sit on it, it has like a pressure button. When you get up, it starts the process of, okay, let me see. If he gonna hit the flush button, he not gonna hit the flush button. Okay, we'll go ahead and flush for him.
Huh?
Yeah, because there's 2 flushes.
So then I flushed without even flushing.
That's right.
I think I could go pro in Papa Shot, the basketball game.
I think you could too.
I go pro. Now, here's the thing. There's a guy, that guy at Barney's Beanery here in LA, who works there. I don't know if he's still there.
He's still there. I just saw him the other day. I wanted to start a fight with him, but
that guy, we need to set the rules though. Are you allowed to use 2 hands or you just have to use 1 hand?
use 2 hands. What are you talking about? Is put the ball in the hole. What are you talking about? Don't do that, Kyle. Don't do that thing where you're like, oh, only reason why he beat me is because he was using both hands.
Yeah, because he's got little T-Rex arms.
Well, still, it means he's shooting from further away.
He doesn't got to travel as far. Like, I got to travel further. Like
you're closer to the rim.
No, but my per stroke time is longer because I got to extend the stroke and then bring the stroke back.
I see what you're saying. Dudes with what Alesha calls ticklers,
yeah,
they get the fast pump in.
That's what
they
I'm
can't
saying.
long, slow stroke.
No, exactly.
So when you got the long, you got to take the.
It's more time per stroke, and then if you look at the tone of the stroke and the frequency of the stroke, okay, and the negative space that the tickler's not hitting versus the space that the long stroke is hitting, that's going to give you a tetrahedron.
A tetrahedron.
Yes.
A tetrahedron, not to be confused with a tetrahedron.
No, because that's on the left.
That's on the left side.
Yeah.
With an E sharp.
So I need to know exactly how we're measuring the strokes.
In inches.
Yeah. But I go pro in that one. That's my game.
Cube.
Oh, Cube. Yeah, Cube is another game that...
How do you explain it? Billy Magnuson brought a bunch of sticks to our house as if we were a bunch of children.
Yeah.
And played this game called Cube, which I forget how to play it, but shockingly enough, it was a really fun game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so there's like these wooden like blocks or rectangular blocks that you set up, I don't know, maybe like 15 yards apart. And then with wooden pegs, like remember the pegboard in gym class? And then like a kid who's on athletic would get stuck on like peg 3 and be like, I can't let go. And it's like, bro, you're 1 inch off the ground. Just drop, bro.
You did a lot of pegging in gym class?
Oh, dude, I was a master pegger.
Okay.
I got to up and down the pegboard.
That's nice.
I think that's why I'm so good at polling now.
Oh, polling and pegging.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, calling you Peggy.
But then, okay, guys, so then you throw the pegs at the blocks and you just got to kind of knock them down. And yeah, it's a game.
Sounds elementary.
Apparently it's a game. I don't know.
I mean, you know, white people have some games, man. Y'all be coming up with some games.
Man, white people be so white.
Man,
let me tell you about white people.
Let me tell you how white people are. Man, you so white. You be like, man, I'm going to work today.
I got a question for you. Is it ever acceptable to clap when a plane lands?
Let me tell you something. Yes. And here's why. Some of them rides be rocky. Some of them, I say 2 prayers before I leave. I text my mom. I write up a draft email where I need everything to go if this plane, But sometimes you'll have like a real rough patch of air and you see the pilot has they've maneuvered their way through it. And you got the flight attendants grasp, you can see them in their jump seats and they look stressed out and everybody looks worried. You know what I'm saying? Even when you get on the plane, you see a pilot is getting a ride somewhere. So he's sitting next to you.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at him, kind of look out the window and he close it and he look back out the window again. Like, that's when you know something's wrong. But then you land safely and you clap. Mostly, you do it out of joy that you landed. but a lot of it is out of like sarcasm.
Like, oh, you did your job.
Congratulations, you didn't kill us, you dickhead.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of both of those things. So I think it's always necessary to clap.
Especially spirit. You know, that's
I don't know. What is spirit?
You're so fucking rich. Yeah. You're so fucking rich. That's funny.
You fly the Holy Spirit?
A select version of airlines.
Safeway Select. That's it's the Aldi of the sky. The TJ Maxx of the great blue.
You cheap ass Spirit flying.
You gotta.
Oh,
They
dude.
make you pay
Okay,
for water?
I'm gonna tell this story. I'm gonna tell this story.
You gotta pay for water?
on Spirit. Dude, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I flew Spirit one time. This actually happened. I flew Spirit one time. They asked me if I wanted anything to drink. I was like, yeah, I'll take a ginger ale. Thank you. She goes, would you like ice? I go, yeah. She pours it in, gives it to me. I go to take my first sip. I've sipped it, and she's like, that'll be $5. I spit it back out, and I gave her back the ginger ale. Spirit is wild, dude. Spirit be wildin'.
I didn't know they charge people for stuff. I knew they charge you for like those special snack boxes and stuff.
They charge you for oxygen.
They probably do.
No, they
Those masks. If you want the mask, please slip in a quarter.
Yeah.
Or scan this QR code to get this mask down.
Imagine the plane's going down and you need to find a quarter and you're like trying to get it in the slot and the mask won't come down. And then you're like, fuck, you know what? I'm not clapping. Fuck it.
Oh, man. Yesterday, for example, I had Lily with me, and we were coming back from Chicago. And I get on, and there's our two seats right there. And there's this lady just sitting there, got all her stuff all unpacked already. She's like completely unpacked. She's got her stuff on the overhead, and she's just kind of making her, because these are the lay down seats. So she's like putting her pillow here, and she's doing this whole thing. And I'm just kind of staring at her. Now I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm struggling. I got 2 backpacks on me and a toddler who keeps asking me for the code to the iPad. And I'm like, just 1 second, baby. I want the code to the iPad. I'm like, baby, 1 second, give me a second. And I'm like, ma'am, and there's people behind me. I'm like, ma'am, I think that's my seat. And she goes, no. I'm 1. She goes, I'm 1F. And I said, yeah, I'm 1F. There seems to be some confusion. And she was like, and I'm looking at my phone. I have my seat right there. She's literally giving me the look of like, if you don't leave me alone and go get another seat. That's kind of how she was looking at me, like, what's the big deal? Like, No, but she was very dismissive in her tone and kept going about her business as I'm like, ma'am, can you just check? And she's like, she opens her book. She has her little slip and she goes, oh, I'm 2F. What is? She starts looking up. I'm like, bitch, this the front row. This the first row. If you know you don't look up, just don't look up. Look in front of you. That go to pilot. So you must be number 1. You, bitch, move your ass. I got this child here. If you don't get the fuck out of here. Like, I was so frustrated with this woman because I was just like, let me sit.
Yeah.
It was a long travel day. Like a long travel day. But you don't, even when you're flying first class, you got to deal with that shit.
Did you remember the passcode of the iPad?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
You know what was funny was when we were flying back from Vancouver.
Vancouver.
So we were flying back from Vancouver. 21 Savage is on the plane, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I sat in, I forgot what seat I was in, like I think I was 1D, but I sat accidentally in 1C. Mm-hmm. And 21 comes on the plane, and his like boy, I forgot what that guy's name is, whatever. They came like 10 minutes late, so I go to sit down in 1C, and the lady's like, Mr. Jeffries. And I look up, I'm like, she's like, are you confused? Are you not Mr. Jeffries? And I was like, no. She goes, I think you might be in the wrong seat. So then I go, I'm like, oh shit, I'm 1 over. So I sit down next, I get in my right seat. Then 21 comes on the plane, his boy's sitting next to me. That's Mr. Jeffries. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, let me make some small talk with him. I was like, dude, I accidentally sat in your seat. And then the stewardess came up and she was like, Mr. Jeffries. And I was so confused. And he looked at me, he was like, oh, you Mr. Jeffries also? I was like, no, dude, you're Mr. Jeffries. I was like, oh, anyways.
Okay, next question. Is this your question or is this mine?
I think it's mine. What do you do if you run into someone that you know, but you can't remember their name?
Oh man,
What do you do?
we just mic'd up Alesha Renee. She'll be back for another episode, but she happens to be here today. So we. The reason why I wanted to mic her up is based on this question.
Yeah, you want me to ask it again?
Ask the question again.
What do you do if you run into someone that you know, but can't remember their name?
So Alesha and I, there's ways to do it when you're by yourself, and there's ways to do it. It's better when you're with someone else. Alesha and I have this way of handling it. We sometimes mess up. It depends, but if you see, I'll let you.
So like if many times we'd mess up by saying, "Oh, it's nice to meet you," and it's like, "No, you met them before."
Yeah,
you know. So we beat it out of each other to say, "Oh, it's good to see you."
Pause.
yeah.
No, well, you know what I mean. Like, stop saying that because we kept getting our face cracked.
Yeah.
But then the newest iteration of that is, hey, I can't remember the name, so make sure you introduce yourself first. Like, we'll say it real quick, especially if they're like barreling towards. So then, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Then Elle will step in. Hi, I'm Lamorne. So then I can hear the name, and then it's like, oh, Danielle says da 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 da. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So you have your homie come in quick,
Yeah.
and do the intro.
Yes.
And what I like to do is when I see somebody, I go, "What's up? What's up?" And then I know my friend's about to, like, I know Alesha about to go and introduce herself, and I don't want to make it look like I didn't. So I step down to like check my phone for something real quick. I do a little
He's
pivot
always
out.
busy.
I go, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Hey, real quick. And I'm listening for the name. Oh, your name's Deacon? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah. But that's years of like getting your face cracked, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm really bad at that. I'm really bad. I know faces, I don't know names a lot.
Yeah, I'm also like that. I'm so bad with name. I know faces. I remember someone if I met them. Names I'm bad with. Human names. Like if you tell me your dog's name, I'll never forget your dog's name.
Really?
But human names, I'll always forget.
What?
Yeah.
This sounds stupid. What?
Test me. Who's someone's dog?
Jen's dog.
You know what? I just mentaled you because I knew you were going to say that because that was the last dog that was here, Little Man. You just got mental.
The previous dog.
I learned from my
previous dog.
experiences.
What was her previous dog's name?
The previous dog?
Yeah.
No, we can't talk about dogs that are in heaven. Come on now.
Oh, sure.
They not here no more.
Okay. If you were transported to the past and ended up on a pirate ship, do you try to escape or join the crew? Let me tell you exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm joining the crew because I'm outnumbered. And if I escape a pirate ship, you know, niggas in large bodies of water don't do well, except for like the occasional Canadian black man who knows how to swim well. Shout out King Batch. He would survive it. I would not survive because there's sharks in those waters.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it also depends on what kind of pirate. Are you going back to the old peg leg Willie days when they had hooks for hands?
Pegweg Willie, yeah.
Or do you go back to like Somalian modern kind of like the Somalian pirates?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking more like Black Pearl type pirates.
Oh, yeah, I'm joining the crew.
Yeah, I'm joining the crew.
I'm joining the crew for sure.
I mean, it's not a good life. Like from what I've read, it's not a good life. But because
Why not? Why is it not a good life, Kyle?
well, those ships are like one, they were built so poorly, so you're destined to probably sink at the bottom of the ocean. Honestly, two, the amount of like disease and rats that were on the bottom of those shits and whatnot, and then food. Like they didn't know how to preserve food back then either. Like.
Well, here's the thing with pirates. They always, at some point, go to land to, like, splurge and, like, get whores and do all, you know what I mean?
Pirates be fucking, dude.
Yeah, they got to get whores, you know what I'm saying? But if you're out to sea for that long, for sure some of them pirates was fucking each other. So but my point is, you getting sex no matter what.
Yeah, I get
So,
the butts.
You gonna survive it on the busted up wood and the jaundice and the gout and the black plague. What do you call it?
The Curse of the Black Pearl.
I don't know what they got. I don't know what some of the diseases they would call them back then. They had some fucked up names. Scurvy. Yeah. I'd rather risk that than go right into the water for death.
Yeah,
I would go right into that water and die because I can't. How are you going to escape?
But where's the rum going? Dude, I did read a story, and I think actually Robbie and I talked about it, or maybe Robbie and Joe and I talked about it. There was a famous lady who pretended to be a dude and joined a pirate's crew, and they didn't know she was a girl. Then she fell in love with one of the guys on the crew, a pirate. She didn't know that there was also another lady, I think, hiding out, pretending to be a man. They all three ended up in a threesome, and they made their own gang after they banged. Yeah, after they banged, they then made their own gang and like set sea and look for treasure and all that stuff.
Wait,
that's a real story.
So two of them were women?
Yeah, pretending to be dudes. Like Glenn Close.
And fell in love with each other?
No, they fell in love with the dude, a real dude.
Okay.
And then they formed a tetrahedron bond, a three bond.
So he was gay?
No, he knew they were girls.
Oh, so I see what he was doing.
The rest of the crew didn't know.
Okay, so they were undercover. He knew they were undercover and then used it against them and was like, let your boy get some or I ain't gonna say nothing. What a snake. Dude, what a fucking pirate.
That might be your next movie.
Hey, I'm down. Hey, who we go? Anna de Armas?
Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz, who we got in it?
Yeah, that works for me.
And me? All right, listen, I'm not mad at it.
That works for me.
I'm not John Papsadera. Go ahead and set that movie up.
Oh, John. He always gives me so many auditions. He's one of my...
He's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, I had something we wanted to talk about on the podcast
best.
today because we were talking about this. Mount Rushmore of comedy actors.
Mount Rushmore of comedy actors.
Film.
Yes.
Film.
Yeah. So this is a tough one because
who you got on your Mount Rushmore? Mount Rushmore is 4.
Mount Rushmore is 4. I'm gonna start with the King. I'm gonna start with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, I thought you said Martin Luther King. Sorry. Okay, sorry. The King.
I want to start with Eddie Murphy.
Okay, he's on my Mount Rushmore.
I'm gonna go Adam Sandler.
Also on my Mount Rushmore.
I'm gonna go Will Smith.
Interesting.
What? Girl, what?
I want to go. No,
That's when he knew.
But
he had fucked up.
But it's up for debate because there's so much criteria for it that I do want to have the discussion because I got Will Smith in there and I also have Jim Carrey. So I got
Eddie Murphy, Jim
Carrey, Adam Sandler, Will Smith as my 4. Now, you could also go Richard Pryor but that was before my time when he was cranking out hits, right? And he was kind of one of the first to be big movie star after being big comedic stand-up guy, et cetera, et cetera. But then you also got your Bill Murrays, and then you also,
Martin Lawrence. We grew up on
Will
Martin.
Ferrell.
I know, but for me, Martin is up there. But Martin, my favorite TV show of all time is Martin. But that's my favorite TV show. We're talking about film.
What about National Security with Steve Zahn?
I mean, Blue Streak, National. I love that movie. Blue Streak.
Blue Streak is one of the best comedies ever.
Bad Boys. Big Mama's House. I didn't necessarily like all the Big Mama's Houses. Homes. Big Mama's Homes. I didn't like that. I don't like all of them. You know what I'm saying? But I got to say the first one I think is a classic. Mm-hmm. So Martin is, but that's the thing. Martin is up there. But then if you put Martin up there, who do you take off for me? And I wouldn't take off Eddie. I wouldn't take off Will. I wouldn't take off Adam Sandler to start. Definitely wouldn't take off Jim Carrey either. And then I wouldn't take off. It's hard for me to say I will take off Will Smith because a lot of Martin's success, Will Smith was in those movies as well.
I think Will Smith, because he was one of the first big black blockbuster. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I necessarily equate him to comedy, like comedy
name
that I ascribe you to. What'd you say?
Name those blockbusters.
Independence Day.
He was funny in it.
Welcome to Earth.
He had lines, but
But he also
guess-
wasn't think about it this way. I wouldn't like Will Ferrell is one of my favorites all time. So he could arguably be on that list for me.
I could change that Will out with that Will for sure.
But a lot of Will Ferrell's hits or like things you know him from are Saturday Night Live, which made him iconic, and then his cameos in movies.
I guess that's kind of that same button of comedy, those pockets of comedy, is the same way I look at Will Smith. Right, like like in Aliens, Independence Day. I mean, not in Aliens, Independence Day.
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
That's a
Men
hard
in Black.
comedy.
He carried. Yeah, that would be the first
Bad
one that I
Boys.
would say he carried that one.
But Bad Boys, same thing.
more
comedy.
action. That was more action than comedy.
But
That's its own genre. Action comedy is its own genre.
That's fair.
Yeah, because it's not Die Hard. It's Rush Hour and Bad Boys.
Chris Tucker. Thank you.
But Chris Tucker got a few hits.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Chris Tucker kind of like
Then he
tapped out
kind of-
early, like
yeah.
Dave Chappelle, because it was his fame was like
Chris Tucker is the Barry Sanders
Up there.
of comedic acting.
I can
He
see
came
that.
in,
Dude,
made his mark, and peaced out.
The outtake of when him and Jackie Chan are like at the airport and someone calls Chris Tucker, like I think it was his mom called him or something, and they keep rolling, and he's like, "Mom, I'm filming. I'm with Jackie Chan right now." And then I guess she must have said like, "Oh, you're with Jackie Chan?" And he said, "Yeah, right now." And he goes, "She wants to talk to you." And he gives Jackie Chan the phone, and Jackie Chan's like, "Hello?" And he's like, "We are filming. You waste all our film." Dude, you gotta look on the outtakes. It's so funny.
on
Rush Hour.
Rush
Yeah.
Hour. Who you got, Kyle?
I don't have Will Smith on the comedy Mount Rushmore. I have Eddie Murphy. I have Adam Sandler. I have Jim Carrey. And then the fourth one is really where it's so hard. Like Will Ferrell definitely up there for me. Martin definitely up there. There's other people we're missing. Like
John Candy. I'm like, I grew up on John Candy.
We are missing John Candy,
Candy's
Bill
up
Murray,
there.
Bill Murray for
and,
sure.
John Belushi.
I didn't watch too many John Belushi films, but
Rodney
you know,
Dangerfield's
that
got a
many.
bunch of movies.
Rodney definitely did. He held a good time capsule.
Dan
Who?
Aykroyd.
Dan
Oh,
Aykroyd,
yeah.
I could even, interchange that.
And then like we talked about Mike Myers. I think he's got obviously Austin Powers and Wayne's World. But besides that, I'm like, he doesn't really
Yeah,
have
those are
too
more
much.
nostalgic.
But here's the
memories.
thing.
But he,
Here's the thing. Here's why I
what?
put.
Oh, Shrek, yeah.
Eddie Murphy gets Shrek also, yeah.
But here's why. Here's what I mean by the Mount Rushmore of comedy actors. Here's why we put Jim Carrey in it, because for a while, Jim Carrey was it.
Yeah.
It was Jim Carrey. You'd line up to go see a Jim Carrey movie, right? For years, for a long time. That's the same with Eddie Murphy, right? That's the same with Adam Sandler. In fact, Adam Sandler is still putting out movies to this day. That's the same with Will Smith. Remember, Will Smith was the first. He was like $20 million comedy man. He was doing. You're right. He had a lot of action movies, but he was always comedic. He was always the funny. He's what Kevin Hart is doing now, where Kevin Hart's doing action comedy, but he's being funny in it. Will Smith happens to be funny, charming, good looking. You can't take just because Will Ferrell don't look like Will Smith.
Just because it doesn't razzle dazzle.
Will Smith just happens to be charismatic and handsome, so
I
they
think-
add that element to
I think the only reason I give a little pushback, I'm going to yes and you. Here's why. Because I remember watching interviews specifically, let me sound in black, specifically where Will said he studied like literally the analytics of the mechanics of being a blockbuster movie star. He wanted to be a movie star.
Right.
A lot of the aforementioned people that you named, the actors that you named, they're comedians.
They just want to be funny. Yeah.
They want to be, they go after the funny. He said he wanted to go after being a movie star that wasn't relegated to race or anything like that, right? And so he studied, okay, the release of when certain films came out, like how they, excelled or whatever. I put him in the same category that you did, Will Ferrell, as in punching up essentially like a movie, because the only ones off the top of my head that I can think of that he actually like carried start to finish the comedy was Men in Black. Hitch was more like romantic comedy, yes, but, or think of another one.
Wild Wild West.
He,
That did numbers.
But he also said the viewers didn't get what they bargained for. I studied Will. Like he is on my actors Mount Rushmore. He and Julia Roberts are my two. So you can
Julia
name me.
Rob Hurts. Sorry.
Dear God.
Sorry.
Oh Lord.
Dear God.
If you know that reference, you a real movie person. Go ahead. Sorry. Go.
So that's the only reason why I yes and you, because when I think of all the other actors that you guys name, and all three of those, I think we all have a strong consensus on. He's the only person that I would give you pushback for, comedy Mount Rushmore, because I give him movie star, yes, yes, but comedy,
Gemini Man was funny.
it wasn't supposed to be.
That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was funny.
But everybody has some flops. Everybody who goes on stage every once in a while and slaps Chris Rock. You have our faults and our, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you can't.
Chris Rock is a good one.
Faults in Our Stars.
Yeah, see, Chris Rock is a good one, but
That's a good one.
Chris Rock, I'm just gonna say it. I love Pootie Tang is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Right, Head of State, love Head of State. Chris Rock wasn't necessarily the best actor in those movies.
No.
Like the cool thing about Sandler and all these guys is that they are like.
I would even put Monique on that list.
I would too, but Monique's best, to me, her best work was Precious.
Oof.
I think it's Will Ferrell for me.
You're
To
thinking
me,
about
that put Monique in a level of performer.
You're thinking
for
about
me.
actor, though. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So comedic, her stand-up is legendary.
Yeah. She's one of the best to do it.
Yeah,
Comedy.
but comedic
comedy-wise.
movies, I don't know what her comedic movies were.
What is it? Last Christmas or Last Christmas or this?
When you
Christmas?
gotta say,
missed that one.
what is
Yeah.
it beforehand, we can't put her in that category.
Well, just because
Dude.
like I'm not good off the top on my feet.
She's a great TV wise. I think she was excellent. Her stand up is some of the best ever,
Okay.
and Precious is one of the best.
She's not on the
performances ever.
Mount Rushmore of comedy,
I know.
guys.
See,
Like
she said
y'all
it.
are tripping right
She
now.
is for
No,
me.
we're not. She's. I'm just.
Oh, you're saying she's not.
I'm saying she's
okay,
not.
cool.
I was
thought you were
just
arguing for a second. She could be. I'm like, guys, come on.
I would put her there before I put Will. Will, yes, bankable movie star, absolutely. But if we're talking about comedy,
That's why you ain't on camera
you
right now
said
because you just said some
comedy.
dumb shit.
No,
I'm gonna
you
drop
said
3 characters.
Every Will
comedy.
Smith movie that I've named is a comedy and it's a hit. He was $1 billion
The
man.
movie was a hit. If we're talking about like I wouldn't go see Will in stand up. If you strip movie status away, right?
He's a movie star for sure.
For sure.
a comedic movie.
He's definitely a comedic movie star, and he's definitely transitioned into. He's an action comedy star.
The word comedy being the
Yeah.
operative word. Go ahead.
But I got a few characters, and this is why I'm making a case for this guy. Ron Burgundy,
Will Ferrell, yeah.
Dale Denton, Ricky Bobby,
Yes.
Chad Michael Michaels. What's his name in semi-pro? Jackie Moon.
Oh,
Jackie Moon will wrestle at halftime. Jackie Moon wrestle a live bear. Dude, he's got to be on the Mount Rushmore, I think.
I'm mad at
he's
that.
got to be on the Mount Rushmore. You can argue, okay, I'm willing to take
That Will for that Will.
Will Smith off, but no, because here's why. Will Ferrell is one of my favorites, just period. If we were going to Mount Rushmore, I'm just people that I admire and want to be like. Will Ferrell's at the top of that. He's right up there with this group. But I'm just speaking factually here, and a name just popped in my head, and I gotta say we gotta give this person some love. It's Robin Williams.
Aw. Way to bring the
yeah,
mood
Robin
down.
Williams definitely might be up there.
Bring the mood down. I
No,
said
no,
Richard
no.
Pryor, and you ain't get sad.
Richard Pryor was on some shit.
He set himself on fire.
He was on some shit.
Robin Williams definitely up there. I forgot about
Man.
Robin Williams.
Robin
100%.
How dare we?
Williams.
How dare we?
Okay, now I gotta.
Yeah, now you gotta second guess that list.
No, I think everyone on the list stands. Take off Will and put Robin.
I think I would take off. Oh shit! No, I think I would do. I would take off Will and put Robin Williams. I think it's Eddie Murphy, Jim Carrey, Sandler, Robin Williams.
Straight like that.
I would.
That's a stack.
Straight like that.
Starting 4.
I think I'm gonna agree. Now, folks, in the comments, please sound off in the comments. Let us know who we're forgetting. Let's have this debate. I want to continue this conversation.
Comment down below.
Yeah,
Your
comment
Rushmore of comedy.
Yes, and speaking of, and this is a good segue. Speaking of Rushmore of comedy, June 19th.
Yes.
June 19th at the La Jolla Comedy Store. We're doing a comedy show. We're going to have a great lineup. I want you to keep checking back in. Link in bio. It's going to be a fun time. If you missed the Largo show that we did, it's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest of all time. Okay, it's going to be a fantastic show, and I want you to trust me on this one. So please go get your tickets now. They're almost sold out.
Great show.
Tickets are almost sold out. And also go buy some merch.
Yeah. Well, it's not live yet.
Don't buy some merch.
The link is coming, but the show tickets, that link is live.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're doing stand-up, so come see it.
Yeah, the La Jolla Comedy Store.
It's going to be a fantastic night.
June 19th. Okay, let's jump back in. Let's jump
It's time to debate?
It's time to debate.
Or no, that was the debate.
That was a debate. Let's play.
Two truths and a lie?
Yeah, let's do two truths
Yeah,
and a lie.
let's do two truths and a lie.
Okay. This episode of Two Truths and a Lie is it's all about dumb laws. It's all about dumb laws. I remember when I was growing up, there was this website. I think it was literally called dumblaws.com. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Dumblaws.com, where each state has these really silly laws. A lot of them are old and archaic laws. There was one, I forget the town, where it was illegal to sit on a curb and drink beer out of a bucket.
Damn, I do that shit all the time.
Yeah, it was weird. There were some weird laws like that. Like you can't make faces at a dog. Or you'd go to jail. So we have 3 dumb laws here, and right now, Kyle, we have to find the lie.
Yeah, 2 of them are true and 1 is a lie, and we have to play detective. Mm-hmm. We got to be Batman.
Right.
We got to figure this out.
Alesha, you want to play? You have a mic. You want to play this with us?
Okay.
Okay, cool.
So read the first one.
Okay. You can only hypnotize people indoors in Everett, Washington, not on the street or any public place, or even through a window.
Damn.
That one right there sounds like a real dumb law. It sounds real.
It's real.
Here's my thing. I've never been to Washington.
Me either.
I know a few people from that state.
The dumb state.
Yeah, I don't really speak highly of them. I feel like they probably are hypnotizing people just on the streets in Washington for some reason. I don't know why, but that just seems like something they do up there.
Are y'all from Washington?
Oh, I figured
Yeah,
it was like the
guys,
way
Robbie and Joy are from Seattle.
The way he said it, you guys just started laughing, turning red. I was like, oh, they must be from Washington.
So are we voting on this one?
I think let's talk about them all first, and then we'll go back.
Okay, so let's read. That's okay. So
Yeah.
Number 2, in Quitman, Georgia, chickens are not allowed to cross the road. There's so many chickens in Quitman that they cause car crashes. If your chickens are found to be crossing any roads, you will be fined.
No, I think that's a lie.
I
I think we're going to get our food wherever we can get our food. And it's like, oh, food, dinner.
because especially listen, this is no knock on the South. Roadkill is a real thing in some
Straight
areas.
like that. I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's squirrel right there. Good squirrel.
That's possum.
Look fresh. Good squirrel.
Having frog legs.
Frog. That good frog. That good frog leg right there.
Is this the scene in Waterboy?
Look at God
And for
providing.
dessert?
No, only provide.
Chicken crossing the
Squirrel.
street.
Oh, he provide. Thanks, Buick. Okay, let's read the third
Not
one.
dinner sponsored by Cadillac.
Yes.
Yeah, paint chips in your chicken.
In Smithville, Texas, it's illegal to touch other people's uncles.
Anything more than a handshake is considered taboo. Wait, are we sure
things
this?
are true?
Are we sure this is written the right way? Isn't it? It's illegal for your uncle to touch you.
Well, that's any state.
Oh, okay, that's true. That's true. Sorry.
Oh God, to touch uncles. Oh man.
Anything dealing with the
Smithville,
South.
Texas, is that a real place?
Yeah.
That's a real.
I think
That's
so.
a real city.
Yeah, that's a real city. I think it's real just because anything dealing with uncles and doing creepy things in the South rings right.
And this must be a new law then.
Yeah. Wait. You grew up in Smithville, didn't you?
I grew up in Smithville, bro. I used to touch all kind of uncles.
Yeah.
Get touched by other uncles.
You got nieces and nephews? Sure
Yeah.
do.
No, that's terrible.
That's horrible.
That's
Were
horrible.
you in Smithville, Texas, when you were in the pool, did you just let those kids just rub
my
up on
leg.
your leg hair?
My corn
up and
pop.
down?
Yeah, my name was Corn Pop. Oh, kid, you come on, rub touch my leg.
Not political at all. The names that Biden comes up with for like the characters in his stories are unreal. It was like Corn Pop, and it was one toe Willie and me, and when I was teaching at some college, he just makes up like, dude, it's too funny.
Not One Toe Willie.
Yeah, he makes up some crazy names. I love it.
One Toe Willie.
Yeah, One Toe Willie.
Okay. So
All right, what do you
after
think?
reading all three,
Yeah.
they're so. Here's the hard part about this one is that the laws are like this. They're so stupid. I'm actually going to pick the least dumb one.
Yeah.
To be the truthful one, which is number 2.
Wait, it's 2 truths and a lie, right? It's only
Yeah.
one of them is a lie.
Only one is fake.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm picking number 2 as the lie.
I think one about hypnotizing people in Washington, I think that's real.
Yeah, and it's legal to touch other people's uncles. Anything more than a handshake is considered taboo. I'm going to say that that's true. It sounds so stupid,
Yeah.
but these laws are so dumb.
Yeah.
This one, in Quitman, chickens are not allowed to cross the road. There's so many chickens that they cause car crashes. To me, that just makes sense. It's like, that's like a hazard. Like,
Yeah.
get your chickens, don't have your chickens running around in the
So you
street.
think 3 is the lie?
I think 2 is the lie.
Oh, you think 2 is the lie?
I'm not gonna lie. When I reread it again, the third one in Smithville, Texas, it's illegal to touch other people's names. Anything more than a handshake is considered taboo. I thought it said hand job for a second, and I was like, "Wow, more than a hand job."
Of course you did.
I can see
Of
that.
course you did.
No, just because I turned real fast.
Okay,
So you think the chickens crossing the road is
The lie.
Is the lie? What do you think, Lesh?
I think number 3 is a lie. I think 1 and 2 is the truth. I think
So you think it's
it's
you
okay
think
to
it's
hit.
legal to touch other people's uncles?
Yeah.
So you condone
No,
touching
no.
people's
I'm
uncles?
saying no. I think 1 and 2 is the truth, and I think again from the South here, they do way worse than a handshake in the South. Unfortunately, with uncles.
Oh, yeah, well.
I think 3 is a lie. I think 1 and 2 is our actual laws. I think chickens crossing the road and
Kyle?
Jeez.
Hypnotizing
All right. So you think
Tiebreaker.
3 is a lie, and you think 2 is a lie?
Yeah.
Oh God, I kind of want to go with 2, honestly.
You want to say 2 is a lie?
Yeah.
Okay, so
2 2s, and I'm the
3.
odd one out.
You're number 3.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
3 is a lie.
So, okay, what is the right answer here?
Let's start with what's the truth.
We think
Yeah,
1
due
is
process.
the truth. 1 is the truth.
We all agree 1 is a real law.
Is 1 the truth? Yes.
1 is the truth.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can, and this, we'll just reread again for you guys who are listening. So in Washington, in Everett, Washington, you can hypnotize, but only indoors.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot hypnotize on the street or even through a window.
Okay.
Damn. So if you try to hypnotize someone through a window,
You're going to
But
prison.
You're going to
they'll
jail.
throw you through a window.
Okay.
So we think number 2. Kyle and I think number 2
Is a lie.
Yeah.
is a lie.
Pick number 2, my lord. Number 2. That's also a Shrek reference.
You got to let me know.
Oh,
What?
Damn.
You got it
I'm right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's illegal to touch other people's uncles.
Anything more than a handshake is
Yeah.
considered taboo.
So it was a hand job would have made it true.
or
fuck.
like a little neck kiss.
You got to
Yeah.
trust the person in the South with the most trauma to lead you guys.
That's about it. That wraps it up for this home team episode of the Lamorne After. Thank you again for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, go and download the podcast. Get it wherever you listen to podcasts.
Share it, please. Share it. Okay, guys, we'll see you next week, and we will see you at the June 19th at the La Jolla Comedy Store.
And it's Juneteenth. If you don't show up to support a black man, then you ain't right.
Then you ain't black.
You ain't. But if you don't come to June 19th, then you ain't black.
And that's doubly for all Lamorne's friends. No freebies. Buy a ticket.
Yeah.
We don't have any comps. Sorry, guys. Don't
Yeah,
ask.
Charlemagne, you ain't black, Charlemagne. If you don't come
Don't
to
do that.
support then you ain't
Don't do
black,
that.
Charlemagne.
Take that out.
Charlemagne.
Take that out.
The passage of time. Okay? Can we just talk about the passage of time? Because time and a passage, it's... Because time takes time.
Bye, y'all.